What is up, YouTubians? Kuda Below here, coming at you with another exciting video, basically showing everybody how to avoid the vampires. Just kidding. Anyways, what we are doing is we are going to talk about how to come up with a build on the spot kind of a snack idea. This is great for a date, right? If you're going out, maybe you want to take the family out for like a picnic or something, it's good for that too. Camping, hiking, boating, fishing, backpacking, all that kind of stuff. If you're doing like car camping or you just want to have like a picnic in the park, this is a great idea. Something that you can pack into individual containers and then basically bring with you and assemble on the spot. Let everybody kind of build their own snacks is the best way to do it. But what I've got here is a flavor explosion of tanginess, salty, sweet, sour, the whole nine yards. It basically hits almost every part of your taste buds, and the flavor is amazing depending on how you construct your individual snack. So let's get into it. So basically what I start with is a base of sourdough bread, which is right here. I make my own sourdough. It's like a 72-hour process, but basically what that does is that helps to make the bread more easily digestible in the body. But you could use anything, right? This is what it looks like when it's finally all said and done. But you could use anything. You could use crackers. You could use like toast. You could use sourdough. You could use store-bought stuff, Trader Joe's stuff, ciabatta bread, whatever floats your boat, French baguette, you name it. Basically, the bread is just a foundation, or the crackers would be just a foundation. So then the next step in the process is some people do cream cheese, which is totally fine. That's like the base layer of the whole snack. Basically, like the something that's on there for the other stuff to stick to is basically what it is. I like to use goat cheese, right? The Kirkland creamy goat cheese. This has a little bit of a sourness to it, right? Not too salty, but it has a good flavor. It's tangy, it's sour, it's a good base to lay everything on top of. And then what I do is I put a layer of onions, right? So these are pickled onions that I made, or actually they're fermented onions. And basically what I do is I slice up onions really, really thin, pack them with some salt, let them sit on the countertop for about 3 days, like airing them out. I've done videos on this before. If you want to go back into my video history about how to ferment like vegetables and that kind of stuff, and onions and red cabbage. But you can use whatever you want to. If you go to Costco, let's say, and you find the Wildbrin sauerkraut, you can use that. That's a good idea. This is red cabbage sauerkraut that I made. You can kind of use whatever you want. If you don't want to go the fermented route and you just want something that's kind of pickled, what I would recommend, or what you can do, is slice up an onion, whether it's a red onion, Maui onion, white onion, whatever. Slice up the onion kind of thin, then basically put it into like a bowl or a dish or something with a little bit of vinegar, right? And then like a pinch of sugar. If you don't want to put the sugar in, that's fine. But let the onions soak in the vinegar for about an hour or so before you start assembling the sandwich, or maybe before you leave your house. And it's okay if they stay a little longer, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever the case may be. That way the onions can kind of build up a little bit of flavor profile. And if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to use a regular onion, that's fine. That's totally cool. Or if you don't want to use the onion at all, that's totally fine as well. So then the next step in the process is to get your smoked salmon, right? So the smoked salmon I like from Costco is the Sea Passion Novalox smoked salmon, the Scottish style. There are other brands that are out there that are a little more expensive. This is just me personally in my own flavor profile tasting. I think this will give you the best bang for the buck. It's the best price per pound, right? 1 pound is about somewhere around like $14, give or take. When it's on sale, buy it. You can always stick it in the freezer and then defrost it like a day or two before or whatever. But I love the stuff. It's great. It has like a medium kind of smoky flavor, so it's not too strong, right? That's why some of those other ones are more expensive, because they have a more smoky, stronger flavor. But it kind of has a good amount of smokiness. It also has a little bit of sweetness to it, right? And then it also has like a little, not a salty taste, but just it's like umami. It's got that flavor profile of savory. So it's delicious. If you're a fan of salmon or smoked salmon, highly recommend this brand, the Sea Passion. That's currently as of March 2021. Okay, so then what I'll do is I'll put it on the salmon, and then maybe I might put more onions on top, or the other way around. As you can see here, that was going on. If you don't want to use the onions, that's kind of what it looks like. And then I top it all off with maybe some of the red cabbage, or I might top it off with the Dubliner Kerrygold, or the Kerrygold Dubliner cheese. This cheese is the salty element, like on top of the salted or the fermented onions or whatever, because the Kerrygold Dubliner kind of has a flavor taste of like a Parmesan, or maybe like a Romano cheese. It has like a bite to it. It has good texture. So if you look at the cheese itself, like I cut off a little piece here so you can kind of take a look. It does look great. It also is more of like a firm cheese. It's not the melty kind. So like if you're thinking, like I did a previous video where if you're thinking of melting this over a hamburger, it's probably not going to melt as well as like a cheddar would. This is more, like I said, of like a Romano, a Parmesan, or like a Pecorino, like that kind of a vibe. Reggio, you get the idea. But basically, when you combine everything together into one nice little snack bite, it's delicious. You're getting the base of the sourdough of the bread, or if you do the crackers in your case, or whatever the case may be. So you get a little bit of that chewiness out of the bread, like if you're already going to use the sourdough bread. Then what you get is you get the tanginess of the goat cheese, right? Or if you're not into that and you just want to use the cream cheese, it's totally fine. Then what you get is you get a little bit of the fermented taste, the sourness, the pungentness of the pickled onions, right? Or the sauerkraut if you decide to go that route. Then when you hit the salmon, your flavor profile is getting, like your taste buds are getting all that, the smokiness, the sweetness of the salmon, the deliciousness. It's not, like I said, it's not too smoky. It's like just the right amount of smoke. And then at the very, very end, that last little bit is like if you decide to use the cheese, you get a little bit of that saltiness from the cheese. So it's sweet, it's salty, it's savory, it's tangy, it's delicious. It's absolutely amazing. It's a great date idea. Make sure there are no vampires around you, because I'm sure this will keep them all away anyway. But also pack some gum, right? Gum, mints, that kind of a thing. It can be fun when you're on a date and both of you have fishy breath, because or that kind of garlic fiery breath, because that's the whole part of being on a date, is to laugh and have fun, get out there and explore together, do things that you like doing with the person that could potentially turn into a long-term relationship. Or hey, even if you're married and you want to take your significant other out with you and do this whole thing, it's great. It's just something to laugh about, something to talk about. I'm sure we've all been there before. So there you go in that respect. Anyways, now would be a good time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there below. Make sure you are subscribed. To those of you who have already subscribed, thank you so much. I totally appreciate you, and I appreciate the gesture of subscribing to the channel. In the description, there is a link to my Facebook page. That's Cooter Malloy Product Reviews. Make sure you check that out. I'm always on the quest to find the highest quality products I can possibly find at the lowest possible prices. So all that stuff and more will be on the Facebook page. Also, down in the description, there are some links to those cool products if you want to check some of that stuff out, and that list is constantly being updated. So make sure there. And lastly, if you want to go ahead and hit the notification bell, if you want to be notified when future videos come out, definitely do that. I am doing a few different series of videos that are coming out. One, like this one, was kind of dedicated to the Costco stuff and also to the dating idea stuff. But also I do videos on camping, hiking, and backpacking, best gear to use, tips, tricks, and hacks, and that kind of stuff. So definitely a reason to subscribe. Anyways, I am Cooter Malloy with fire breath going on. There are going to be no vampires near me anytime soon. But thank you so much. I totally appreciate you watching this video, and I will catch you all on the next exciting adventure.